He is known for being an Italian Marxist philosopher, journalist, writer, and politician. He is recognized for his highly original contribution to 20th-century political theory through his prison notebooks. His name is Antonio Gramsci. Antonio Gramsci, an Italian Marxist philosopher and politician, left an indelible mark on the world of political theory. Imprisoned under the fascist regime of Benito Mussolini, Gramsci used his time in confinement to write over 30 notebooks, encompassing more than 3,000 pages of history, analysis, and insight. These prison notebooks would later be recognized as a groundbreaking contribution to 20th-century political theory. Gramsci's work delves into a range of subjects, drawing inspiration from a diverse array of thinkers, including Niccolò Machiavelli, Vilfredo Pareto, George Sorel, and Benedetto Croce. However, his most significant contribution lies in his theory of cultural hegemony. According to Gramsci, the ruling capitalist class, known as the bourgeoisie, maintains their power not through violence or coercion, but through the development of a hegemonic culture. This culture, propagated through ideology, infiltrates cultural institutions and shapes the values and norms of society at large. It becomes the common-sense values that are unquestioned and accepted by all, thereby ensuring the preservation of the capitalist order. Gramsci's ideas challenged the traditional Marxist belief in economic determinism. He sought to transcend this perspective, offering a more humanistic understanding of Marxism as a philosophy of praxis and an absolute historicism. In doing so, he emphasized the importance of action and practical engagement with history, moving beyond the confines of materialism and idealism. Gramsci's theories continue to resonate in contemporary debates on power, culture, and social change, leaving an enduring legacy in the field of political theory. Antonio Gramsci, a renowned philosopher and political theorist, was born in Ales, Sardinia, to Francesco Gramsci and Giuseppina Marcius. His father's family, originally from Albania, had settled in Italy in the early 19th century. Gramsci's mother belonged to a landowning family in Sorgono, Sardinia. However, the Gramsci family faced financial difficulties, and Antonio had to leave school at a young age to work various casual jobs to support his family. Throughout his childhood, Gramsci battled health problems, including a spine malformation that left him hunchbacked. While it was initially believed to be the result of a childhood accident, recent studies suggest it may have been due to pot disease, a form of tuberculosis. Additionally, Gramsci suffered from various internal disorders throughout his life. Despite his humble beginnings, Gramsci's intellectual growth was deeply influenced by the mistreatment of impoverished Sardinian peasants and miners by mainland Italians. These grievances fueled a sense of Sardinian nationalism, which was brutally suppressed by Italian troops. This early exposure to social inequalities and injustice would later shape Gramsci's philosophy and political beliefs. Gramsci's journey towards becoming a prominent thinker began in secondary school in Sant'Ulla Sergiu and continued in Cagliari, where he lived with his elder brother Gennaro, a militant socialist. However, Gramsci's initial sympathies did not lie with socialism but with the plight of the Sardinian people. They saw themselves as neglected and oppressed by the industrializing North, leading to a growing Sardinian nationalism. Antonio Gramsci's early life experiences, marked by hardship, illness, and social injustice, laid the foundation for his later philosophical and political ideas. His deep understanding of the struggles faced by marginalized communities and his commitment to addressing social inequalities continue to inspire us today. Gramsci's belief that my life will recur in exactly identical fashion urges us to reflect on the past, learn from it, and work towards creating a more just and equitable future. Antonio Gramsci, a young and talented scholar, arrived in Turin in 1911 to study at the university. It was a city undergoing industrialization, with factories like Fiat and Lancia recruiting workers from poorer regions. This environment shaped Gramsci's worldview and sparked his interest in socialist circles. He joined the Italian Socialist Party in 1913 and closely observed the events of the Russian Revolution from Turin. Despite financial difficulties and poor health, Gramsci excelled in his studies and developed a deep knowledge of history and philosophy. He was influenced by intellectuals such as Antonio Labriola, Rodolfo Mondolfo, and Benedetto Croce. Gramsci's writings in socialist newspapers, like Il Grido del Popolo, gained him a reputation as a notable journalist. He became co-editor of the Piedmont edition of Avanti, the Socialist Party official organ. Gramsci not only wrote about political theory but also actively engaged in the education and organization of Turin's workers. In 1916, he began speaking in public and gave talks on various topics, including the French Revolution and the emancipation of women. In 1919, he, along with Palmiro Togliatti, Angelo Tosca, and Umberto Terracini, established the weekly newspaper L'Ordine Nuovo. L'Ordine Nuovo advocated for workers' councils, which had emerged during the strikes of 1919 and 1920. Gramsci believed that these councils were the ideal means for workers to take control of organizing production. However, his stance that these councils were communist and not just a political organ for the struggle against the bourgeoisie was criticized by Amedeo Bordiga. Antonio Gramsci, a prominent Marxist philosopher and politician, found himself at a crucial point in Italy's political landscape. The failure of the workers' councils to develop into a national movement convinced Gramsci that a communist party in the Leninist sense was needed. Alongside a group called L'Ordine Nuovo, Gramsci vocally criticized the centrist leadership of the Italian Socialist Party and eventually formed an alliance with the larger, abstentionist, faction led by Bordiga. In the town of Livorno, on January 21, 1921, the Italian Communist Party was founded. Although Gramsci played a leading role in its establishment, he remained subordinate to Bordiga, whose emphasis on discipline, centralism, and strict adherence to principles dominated the party's agenda until 1924. Gramsci, however, supported the Arditi del Popolo, a militant anti-fascist group that fought against the Blackshirts. In 1922, Gramsci embarked on a mission to Russia as a representative of the newly formed party. During his time there, he met Julia Schucht, a talented violinist whom he married in 1923. However, the rise of fascism in Italy coincided with his return, and Gramsci was tasked with fostering a united front of leftist parties against fascism, even against the wishes of the PCDI leadership. This unity would have ideally positioned the PCDI at the center, allowing Moscow to exert control over the leftist forces. However, concerns were raised about the party's radicalism and isolation from political debate. The situation took a turn for the worse when Mussolini's government launched a campaign of repression against opposition parties, resulting in the arrest of many PCDI leaders, including Bordiga. In 1924, Gramsci himself gained election as a deputy for the Veneto. During this time, he held firm to his beliefs and proposed theses for a united front to restore democracy in Italy at the Lyon Congress in January 1926, which were adopted by the party. However, conflicts arose within the party, particularly between Gramsci and Togliatti, who was representing the party in Moscow. In 1926, Gramsci wrote a letter to the Comintern expressing his concerns about the opposition led by Leon Trotsky, as well as highlighting some perceived faults of Trotsky's leadership. However, Togliatti, upon receiving the letter, chose not to deliver it, leading to an unresolved conflict between Gramsci and Togliatti. Antonio Gramsci's journey within the Communist Party of Italy was marked by his dedication to Marxist principles and his determination to combat fascism. His experiences highlight the challenges of building a united front and navigating internal conflicts within a political movement. Gramsci's philosophy continues to offer valuable insights, reminding us of the importance of unity, perseverance, and the pursuit of justice in our daily lives.
Do you want to explore more philosophers? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.